definition of evidence?
Well, I'm going to be presenting deductive evidence, so I'm going to be appealing to the abductive case or higher order claim that I'm making about the analytic predicates that are entailed by my deductive argument. Can you repeat what I just said and demonstrate you have a coherent understanding of it?
Yeah, you're going to say that literally the premise, the conclusion will be guaranteed by the premises, but an argument doesn't prove anything other than the argument.
Sorry, so that's not what I said, you beautiful slow boy. What I need you to do is put on your tracking goggles and try to track in a linear fashion this time.
Look,
so what
kid,
I said was,
I don't know how hard your dad hit you and how much your uncle touched you, but clearly they didn't do it enough because you still act like this. So I need you to go to daddy and ask for a vicious beating so that you can maybe shape up, okay? And clean out your potty mouth. Daddy hit you yet? Did he knock some sense into you yet? If you have a sub 40 IQ, don't say anything.
Nice pivot.
If you have a sub 30 IQ, say something.
Nice pivot to meta.
Oh, so you have a sub 30 IQ. Okay, well.
Nice pivot to meta.
I don't talk to people with a sub 30 IQ. That's just me personally.
To be an agnostic, I think it's fair enough. But to be an atheist, I think it's quite dumb.
You probably think that the version of atheism I'm talking about is I know God doesn't exist. That's not how I use that term. When you put a in front of a word, it just means without. Something that's asymmetrical doesn't have symmetry. An atheist doesn't have a theistic belief. I think God could exist, but I don't believe that God exists. I know,
but basically what you're saying is like I'm gay, but I'm not homosexual. I'm happy, but I'm using the gay version of being happy. So it's dumb. Nobody would do that. Yeah, you wouldn't get someone saying that they're gay because they're happy, and you're doing pretty much the same thing.
People say that. I mean, it's not very common anymore. But, anyways, are you okay? Like, can you control yourself, or what?
Don't I sound calm? I think I'm very calm.
No, I mean, can you mentally act older than 14? Because so far you've come up here and in two different ways been like, that's gay. That's how middle schoolers think. So
actually, I did not say that. I just give you an example of how retarded you. Oh, sorry, no, I'm not supposed to use that word, but how not appropriate your atheist definition is. That's all.
It's not my definition. Like literally millions of people understand and follow that definition. So I don't really.
You do need to prove a point to make up an argument. That's the only reason.
I haven't made up. Saying what I don't believe in isn't an argument. So what do you actually want to talk about? Do you have any reason to that you think is convincing that the God you believe in exists?
But I don't believe or just believe. That's the thing. If you prove to me that God exists, and it meets my burden of proof, then that's fine. I will accept that God exists. But so far, nothing has met my threshold in order for me to believe that God exists. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to say that God does not exist.
I don't say that either. Are you an atheist? I don't know what's going on anymore.
I'm agnostic.
Okay.
But I don't claim to be an atheist. That's the difference.
Yeah, and I do, because I am saying that atheist means I'm without the belief in God. Not that I claim God doesn't exist. I'm just without that belief.
I appreciate that. But do you think when you tell people you're an atheist, that's the definition that they have of you when you basically...
A huge number of people understand that. Yeah.
Yeah, but not the vast majority would actually think that you...
Well, maybe they should catch up.
Right, but if you know that you're being confusing, you could easily just not use...
Or they could literally just ask, what do you mean by you're an atheist? And I could tell them in about 15 words what it means, and then there's no problem. You seem to have a problem with it. I don't get it, but... whatever.
No, I just don't like either side. I don't like when Christians make claims that are nonsense, and then when atheists make claims also that are nonsense as well. I just like people to
What claim did I make?
No, you just basically just told me now that you believe same as myself. So as far as I'm concerned, you're agnostic, you're not an atheist. But
I'm an agnostic atheist, yeah.
yeah, but it's not really the correct way to classify yourself, I don't think. But agree to disagree. But in any case, atheists and Christians to me are silly people, and I like to talk to both sides if I have an opportunity.
So why is your stance on neutrality less silly than being an atheist?
Because you were open to be proven at any point that if you are to prove something to me now, I'm open to change my mind. I'm not set in any kind of belief system that prevents me from moving whichever direction the knowledge appears.
And do you think that an atheist has made up their mind that God doesn't exist? Therefore,
a lot of them have.
The fence-sitter position is, okay. What about people that say, by definition, God is a contradiction because of the omni paradoxes, so therefore God can't exist?
No, hang on 1 second. The God of the Bible, I flats out just believe. I think that's complete nonsense. The God of the Bible, the Christian so I think that's nonsense. If there's a God, I think he's a different God to the one from the Bible.
Do you think that by definition God is all-knowing, all-powerful, and all-loving?
Well, that's the definition of a God. So if there's such as a God
do you think you can be all-loving and allow evil to exist?
I'm not sure. No, I don't know.
See, a lot of people say that's a contradiction, therefore God can't exist.
Okay, well, I've honestly just come here for an answer because I've been going through atheist lives and I've been asking this question, but I haven't really got one. So before, where do you base your morals?
Reason, personal experience, the human condition, and biological realities about cooperative social species. Just kidding. I listen to voices in my head, and then I take wisdom from old books written by nobody knows who, nobody knows when.
So then, I'm curious. Then, why do you believe that necrophilia is morally wrong?
Because it's icky, and it's unhealthy.
That's why it's morally wrong.
Yeah. Why do you believe it's wrong? Because voices in your head tell you. Look, dude, if you wanna dig up grandma and have your way with her, go ahead. But I think it's icky.
Picking your nose is also icky, but it doesn't make it morally wrong.
Sure. So why do you think it's wrong? Because you hear voices in your head?
Fucking retarded atheist, bro. Another one. Fucking hell, man.
Why do you think it's wrong? And he's gone. Okay, then.
By either a natural cause or a supernatural cause, and that's an exhaustive dichotomy.
I have literally zero reason to think that any supernatural cause has ever unfolded. It's completely incoherent.
Okay, yeah, no. That's not what I was saying. I was asking if it's an exhaustive dichotomy. For instance, say either X, everything can be explained either by X or Y. If everything is explained by X, it doesn't change the fact that it's an exhaustive dichotomy.
I said, so you're starting off saying everything is either caused naturally or supernaturally?
All events have an explanation grounded either in the natural or supernatural, and that's an exhaustive dichotomy, yes.
What is supernatural in this case? If aliens are simulating this universe, is that supernatural? Because to me, supernatural is just magic, whereas aliens simulating the universe wouldn't be magic. It's just, as of yet, an unknown...
for instance, panspasium or whatever it's called, where life was,
panspermia.
Our world. Yeah. My bad, bro. Didn't know if I could say that on here, so I kind of tweaked it a little bit. But so I think if it can't be explained naturally, it thereby would be explained. It would be a supernatural explanation for the world.
Okay, right? So supernatural does not mean caused by a God. It just means something we don't yet understand.
No. This is if we have all epistemic understanding, like we have all epistemic knowledge. So if we say if it has no natural explanation, even if we fully understand it, it would be supernatural.
Then how do we have all epistemic knowledge if we don't understand it?
Like no, there isn't a natural explanation. Is what I'm saying.
So it's impossible to have epistemic knowledge about the supernatural? Therefore, it's impossible to know God exists? Did you hear me?
Hello. Sorry.
Yes, hello.
I may just go down, bro. I can't do this.
Does it ever weigh on my heart that all knowledge does not create wisdom?
That's not exactly what I said. It's kind of close. That's not exactly what I said. Does it ever weigh on your heart that all the knowledge that you have, because again, I think you're a smart person. You have a good understanding of definitions, English language, concepts, but none of that will ever create wisdom.
I think I think the formula for wisdom is something like knowledge plus experience.
Right, so you need time. Wisdom comes from time.
Yeah, I mean, I said experience. So if all you need is time, then all you have to do is keep accumulating knowledge and do nothing else. And then over time, thus cometh wisdom.
So perfectly understandable. Now, when you're talking to someone like me, and just by sheer time, I'm older than you, does that overcome your knowledge knowing that I have more time than you? Or is that at least something that can combat your knowledge at your time?
Perchance.
Is it something to at least consider?
I don't know what you're saying. Wisdom and knowledge are not the same thing.
Agreed. Wisdom and knowledge are not the same thing.
Yep, there we go.
Over
So,
time, you
what?
gain more knowledge and wisdom.
Yep.
So I'm older than you, probably by about 20 years or so.
You're 54 years old.
I'm right at 50. Actually, I'm 49. So roughly 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like over that time I've accumulated more knowledge and wisdom than you?
I have no idea. Do you think the earth is flat?
Well, you're not thinking logically right now, right? You're not using reason. So go back to the beginning.
Okay, I went back to the
Wisdom,
beginning. Do you think the earth is
right?
flat?
Wisdom and knowledge accumulate over time.
This is boring. What do you want to talk about?
Just trying to talk to you, man.
Okay, what do you want to talk
You're really
about?
smart. I think you're very young, though, and maybe naive. Very naive, to be honest.
With regard to what?
Everything.
Every single thing. Okay. For example?
Wisdom,
Great.
knowledge,
Oh no.
time,
Oh no.
understanding, reality, and facts.
Oh no.
Do you feel like that you will evolve over time?
Yep.
Right. So do you feel like you are fully evolved or maybe lacking?
Yes.
So is it possible that you are not right?
I'm left-handed, so I'd have to agree, yeah.
Obfuscating, deviating, and obscuring the truth. Like, I'm just trying to talk to you openly. right?
Obfuscating and
You're
obscuring
young.
the truth would be pretty
You're young,
synonymous.
man. I think
That
over
was both
time,
redundant and repetitive and
I
unnecessary.
think over time, with your ability, your intellect, there are things that maybe you are not aware of yet
Mm-hmm.
that may change your viewpoint.
Yeah. No, I
So
kind of
is
doubt
it
it.
possible for you to change your position over time?
Sure.
Is it possible for you to change your viewpoint over time?
Sure.
So you are showing the characteristics of a kid, right?
What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just want to demonstrate that you're a kid.
That's great. Now what?
So as long as everybody, there's 123 people on this panel, understand that this guy right here is just a kid.
Why are you talking to children online?
Yeah, so I'm gonna bounce out now and let you guys deal with this kid.
Why are you talking to children online? And he left. Okay.